The workload of the students under the modular setup is not justified. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. It is a famous quote by the first and former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela, and I totally agree with him, since education is the key to the door of the future. But because of the situation we are in, we have found a new and alternative way of learning which was not so popular not until the pandemic started, the modular setup. And as someone who has experienced modular setup, all I can say is that it is really complicated and hard. But because of the hardship that I experienced, I have also discovered the problem it have. Problem number one, the workload of the students is not justified. The reason why I can say this because it is true. The students are not learning anymore because of the given workload, which is a problem. Problem number two, the health of the students are at risk. It is also because of the unjustified workload. The students tend to forget to rest and risk their health. And last problem, problem number three, the lack of communication between the students and teachers. Due to this problem, the learning of the students is limited to what they have in their modules, and there is no one who can explain or expand the learning that they have just read. The workload of the students is not justified. As someone who has been through a modular setup, it is truly unjustified since we are not learning anymore. It is because of the workload which results in less learning. It is based on a true story that I experienced. I had a classmate back then who was thinking of quitting school because there was a lot of activities to be passed in a short period of time. But we encouraged him not to since it would be a waste because we are in our last year in high school. And because of what we have done, he is now doing great in achieving the dreams that he have. The solution that I have in mind is to reduce the workload of the students. In that way, the students may be able to finish all the tasks that were given. The solution can also be seen in a website called Alphanar Media, where it is composed of the insights of the faculty members of a school about reducing the workload of the students. And in terms of benefit, we can gain two benefits in it, the short term and the long term benefit. The short term benefit is to finish all the tasks that were given, and the long term benefit is to graduate and finish your studies. The second problem that I have is the students risking their health. Because of the unjustified workload, the students tend to forget about themselves just to pass all the requirements that they need. Based on an article made by Rappler titled Students' Mental Health Issues During the Distance Learning Due to Interplay Factor, modular learning was one of the sources of stress. To sum it up, the health of the students are at risk, both mental and physical, because of the unjustified workload. To solve the second problem that we have, we all need a simple solution. It is also based on an article by a website named Very Well Mind. In order to cope up with stress, we need a healthy lifestyle. This includes having enough sleep, having a healthy diet, and doing exercises regularly. And the benefit that we can get is just not limited to coping up with stress, but also we have a chance to change the unhealthy lifestyle that we have been doing all through these years. The last problem that I have seen is the lack of communication between the students and teachers. Due to this problem, we students have a hard time understanding the lessons since we don't have someone since we don't have someone to interpret what we have just read or expand the lesson to us. I remember back then, during the distance learning or modular learning, it was our math subject, which is a pretty hard subject to understand on your own. During that time, we had one lesson that was really complicated, and we didn't really understand it that well since it was also a new topic to us. So what me and my friends did was to discuss our own understanding online just to understand one single topic. As a solution that I can see in this problem is to use social media as a way to communicate. It is also based on my experience where we used Messenger back then just to communicate with our teachers. And it is also a solution to break the barrier between that separates the teacher and the students. The benefit that we can get is that is not just limited to the students, but also it will also but also the teachers. The students can benefit by since they will have a chance to ask the teachers about the lessons that they think are complicated. And the teachers, on the other hand, will have a chance to monitor the students and ask them how they are doing. To conclude, we should value the learning and the health of the students, since that is the number one reason why we are going to schools. We go to schools to learn, not just to pass and be bombarded by activities and performance tasks and be stressed. And if you're wondering what are the possible things that you can do to help someone who is going on with modular setup, I encourage the families, friends, and peers of the students to help them in any way possible. There are a lot of possible ways to help them. We can help them physically, emotionally, and mentally. We can support them physically by helping them in their modules and projects. Emotionally, we can show our love by being by their side and they are when they are emotionally stressed. And mentally, we can show our help to them by letting them take breaks and let them rest. Then, I have already said my side. Let me ask about yours. What do you think about this modular setup? We should always remember that education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for today. And that would be all. Thank you.